Guys, it's about as much fun as finding out you can't eat your Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wind cartridge. It's the Emergency Escape podcast.
We're sort of back.
We're sort of back. We had time to kill. We thought we'd record this thing. And, seeing as a major console has been released, it seems quite fitting to talk about that for a little bit.
Yep. So the Switch came out. I don't know if you guys have noticed.
Did it? Oh, to completely go off tangent for the start of this. We
weren't even on tangent.
No, but I read iFixit's teardown of the Switch, and they kind of said it's remarkably good inside that little device.
It's always good to hear the insides of the console are good.
I think the most amazing remark was because it's so much more breakable, they've made it so much more repairable with lots of modular units, and that's the kind of techie thing that kind of gets me going. But there are, of course, other.
Well, did you see that they hid a message inside the controller?
I did. Is it thank you, all gamer fans?
Thanks to all game fans.
That's cool.
It says it in the top of the right thumbstick on the Pro controller.
It's underneath the thumbstick, isn't it? It's underneath the mushroom of the thumbstick, and you can see it by pulling down, and it reflects in the glossy bevel.
Yes,
that's really, that's cool.
Because when I first saw this story, it had the headline of Nintendo hid secret message inside Pro controller. I thought, great, no one's going to see it because it's inside the controller.
Their controllers.
But no, it's in the mushroom.
I'm pretty sure I saw about 3 or 4 headlines that were like, Nintendo hides this secret message inside Pro controllers. Wow. And that kind of like clickbaity stuff. And I'm just like, oh, I'm going to have to read like Distractify or something to find out that it was complete BS. And it was like, no,
it's not inside. It's on the outside. You can do it without breaking the thing.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, Nintendo have been... Well, I'm going to touch on this a bit later on in this little broadcast, but Nintendo have kind of always been about the gamers. So it's nice of them to do that. One of the things that... And I know this is a bit late in the day, and I'll probably generate a lot of hate for this, but a Zelda title at launch... Thoughts? Normally we get the big Mario.
Normally it's a Mario title.
Where's that? They teased it a lot. And
Zelda, they did a Zelda with, what was it?
Skyrim?
The Wii?
Where's my Skyrim?
Yeah, I mean that's not them. That's not Nintendo.
I know, but still, where? I mean, how many games are actually out for it right now?
5.
That's not the most amazing array of launch titles.
Let me find that list.
Whilst you were finding that list, to touch on the other bit about it, about being, Nintendo's all about the gamers. I've been following a couple of streamers on Twitter, and apparently, the UK-based YouTube content creators are still not being allowed to monetize their videos, or they're not receiving any ad revenue from the videos, but Nintendo are automatically copyright striking or monetizing videos. Because the Nintendo content creator scheme
is America only, or not?
It's
in the
pretty
UK?
much exclusive. Yeah, well, it's not UK. It's not in the UK yet.
Yeah. So just
everyone's
finger
been out
to
there.
you guys.
I think pretty much 90% of the streamers that I am following have been playing the Switch in some form or another.
Yeah.
And they can still get their sub revenue, they can still get their cheers, they can still get their the ad revenue that they get from being a Twitch partner, but YouTube, no love at all. So that's
the big problem with Nintendo as a whole, is that they don't seem to understand this new thing that's come along. They're 127 years old.
Yeah, they started out making playing cards. And they
obviously there wasn't a big market of Let's Plays in that.
Well, I don't know. There's plenty of YouTube videos on about how to play cards.
Probably not their card game.
No, they just made playing cards, didn't they?
I don't know what. I've got the list of launch games, by the way. It's slightly more than 5.
Slightly more than 5.
But 5 games that actually came out in the stores. And then there's a number of indie titles that are available through the eShop.
Right.
So launch day games are 1-2 Switch.
That's that plethora of 28 mini games, isn't it?
That's the one.
Uh-huh.
The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which
we know,
obviously. Yep. Skylanders Imaginators.
Okay.
Just Dance 2017.
Okay.
Super Bomberman R.
Okay, I can get behind a Bomberman game. Everyone loves a Bomberman game.
I Am Setsuna.
Okay.
World of Goo.
Wasn't that a Steam release title?
Something like that. Little Inferno.
Okay.
Human Resource Machine. Those are both from the same company.
Mm-hmm.
Snipperclips. Cut It Out Together.
Okay. Fast
RMX, which from reviews I've heard in person from people I know what have a Switch, is basically a cheap knockoff of F-Zero. It's F-Zero with the serial numbers scratched off.
So it's Wipeout.
So yeah. And then Shovel Knight, Spectre of Torment, and Treasure Trove.
Now, I do know that Terraria is slated to come out for the Switch because I am, a Terraria streamer, so I would know that. But those are pretty unremarkable. In
Terraria just has a release date of 2017.
It's later this year. It's definitely coming out later this year. But I think it's going to be. I don't know too much on it, but I'm imagining it's going to be a port of the Xbox version.
It would make sense that it'd be like the console.
It might be a port of the DS version. It makes more sense, but they are still a whole point release behind the PC version with regards to content. The companies that are porting the PC version to the consoles have said no, everyone's going to get the most up to date version this year. So that's great, but I know that the PC version is also getting another point release.
Well, that's the sort of thing, is they always do it's going to be the same way as Minecraft is on the console versus the PC, is you're always going to be a few steps ahead with what's on the PC.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing how that one develops. Like I said, the launch World of Goo, I know that I got World of Goo when I downloaded Steam many moons ago. So that just seems like a flash game port to. I mean, there's going to be a lot of this because it's a portable.
It first came out in 2008.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of these, like jumping on the eStore bandwagon things. I feel.
Yeah.
Because flash game ports and blah blah blah. So this is 61 games confirmed already.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
that's cool.
Yeah, it's not a bad looking launch lineup in terms of out to the end of the year.
But regardless of whatever games you decide to buy for your Switch, you're not going to be able to eat them, are you?
No, I can confirm that Nintendo have put chemicals of some description on the cartridge.
Yep.
That mean it's not very nice tasting. Specifically, it's on the label of the cartridge.
Yes.
And it sticks on your tongue for quite a while.
Now, it's called denatonium benzoate, apparently. It's a bittering agent and it's non-toxic.
Just doesn't taste nice.
Yeah, but this was someone was dared to lick. Was it rock paper shotgun? I can't remember who was there to actually lick it, and then it was actually so vile. They said it was like insecticide. I think it was and it actually caused so much of a storm on the interwebs that
it went round the interwebs.
A Nintendo spokesman actually turned around and issued a statement to Kotaku saying, to avoid the possibility of accidental ingestion, keep the game card away from young children. A bittering agent has also been applied to the game card. It's non-toxic. It's the same. It's the same stuff that you can buy if you are a habitual nail biter, right? So
it's put on your nails to stop you
biting. Certain people have taste tested this, and it's become a thing now. It's become a little bit of a YouTube storm as well about, hey, I'm going to lick a Switch cartridge. But the DS
can confirm that Harry, who we used to work with, Chris, has a Nintendo Switch because obviously he took Friday off to wait excitedly at home for his Nintendo Switch.
Did he eat the cartridge?
The first video I got of him, I got photos of him playing it on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
The first video I got was him licking Breath of the Wild on every side. So yeah, it can confirm from first-hand experience, this is definitely a thing. It's not just selected cartridges.
Well, kind of second-hand experience, but yeah, I guess.
Well, yeah, I opted not to later on then ask to lick the... He brought it into work today. He took it out for the weekend. He brought it into work today, showed us, licked it again to confirm it was definitely on the label rather than the plastic.
You know it tastes like death.
I then opted to not lick it sort of after he'd licked it twice already.
I mean, the question to be asked is, how many licks does it take to get this agent off?
And how far along is Harry doing in that?
Yes. Day 36. It still tastes gross. Oh, God.
I don't know if you saw Microsoft's response to this.
I saw Sony's response to the launch in general, and just being a good guy Sony saying, well done on launching a console.
Microsoft responded to the actual launch of the console by tweeting out a achievement get with the rare. Then I don't know if you've seen their new rare achievement logo, but they've got a new pop-up that pops up if you get.
So this is where I turn around and say I haven't been a console
You're not a
gamer
console
for so long that there are now tiers of achievements on Xbox. I know
there
were tiers of achievements on PlayStation.
There's a tier of achievement that is the rare achievement that maybe 1% of gamers get, the difficult to get ones.
Yeah.
Things like in Minecraft, I think at the moment they've just added a bunch of new achievements. So they are currently rare achievements because they've just been added. And it's things like killing a wither skeleton while you're wearing a wither skeleton skull. Things that there's no reason you would just go out and do except to go get the achievement for it.
Right, okay. So
but basically there's an extra diamond pop-up that extra fanfare and the diamond appears.
It's such a cheesy social media. I've just pulled it up on screen. It's just the cheesiest social media-ist thing you could do.
And they posted out a thing saying, congratulations.
Yeah, it's at Nintendo America. It's not every day you get to throw the hashtag Switch on a new console. Congrats, hashtag Nintendo Switch at Nintendo with this red achievement box that says 1,000 gamer points, way to switch it up.
See, the one I saw was from the UK market, where they had it with 127G for Nintendo being 127 years old this year.
The one I've got from Xbox UK just says congratulations at Nintendo UK on the launch of Switch.
Yeah.
So I don't know what tweets I've got, but it does seem a little bit... I mean, it's nice to see different console manufacturers congratulating each other on the different launches. You wouldn't get that back when the Genesis or the Super Nintendo come out. So it's nice to see that, you know, they're kind of cashing on it. If you look at this one, it's like Xbox America is like, you know, 5,000 retweets and 12,000 likes, and in the Xbox UK 1,800 retweets, 4,439 likes at time of going to press.
See, the one that I was specifically mentioning, though, for this particular thing, was they also posted out Gears of War disc with a big bite out of it on a plate with a knife and fork on either side of it, saying that their games were still tasty, or something along those lines.
No, sorry. Did I segue this into something?
We segued into a different topic that's still.
I apologise. So it's a Gears of War disc that has a big games. I mean, I've never eaten a CD.
I can't imagine they're too tasty.
No, and it kind of ruins the gameplay experience afterwards, and that you kind of like you lose content by doing that to your discs.
I mean, I don't know. It depends on how you eat the disc, because I know that not eating it, but we used to have, one of my friends used to have a copy of Left 4 Dead. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 on the Xbox that got a slight battering at one point. It got laser burned in a very specific location that apparently the only thing it took off of the disc was the texture for the tank. So you'd suddenly get this tank sound, and the tank would come lumbering over the hill, but it was a plain white tank.
Just a Guran shaded.
Just the normally shaded tank without the texture map applied. And so you could see it because the lighting didn't affect it anymore.
Interesting.
And so it just like glowed in the dark, and you're just like, well, the tank's not very scary anymore. He's right there. He's not going to get the drop on us.
It's a bright white tank.
I think even in some places it turned up and it was bright pink.
The other thing that's caused a little bit of controversy is that because since the promo, all of the promo stuff that came out for the Switch, the Joy-Cons, as they're called, not controllers, Joy-Cons.
The Joy-Cons.
They have become highlighters.
The red and the blue one.
One side is bright red and the other side is bright blue, and they've also marked one with a plus and a minus because it might not be clear as to which side they go on because they are so strikingly similar when you remove them.
Right.
Lots of people have taken to Imager saying, I've got my new Switch, and they've basically taped 2 highlighters to a phone.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. And that kind of leads on to the next thing, because if you've got a bright pink and a bright blue controller, you might want to invest in skins. And we know that the skin market for consoles is quite big, and there's lots of sites out there that allow you to go as far as upload your own graphic and order your own skin. But a couple of companies have turned around and said they're not going to do that because the coating on the Switch, if you leave a vinyl cover on it for any amount of time, you can not only damage the actual plastics that the Switch is made out of, but you can remove important things like the logo and the serial numbers, which are
important.
Apparently not so very well screen printed. So you could put this skin on, and then you can actually end up ripping off your serial number or other important information that's printed on the back of the Switch. So, you know, there are a couple of websites out there that have a Switch configurator for their custom vinyl stuff, but they actually turn around and say, we're not selling you this because you're gonna really do damage. And some of the pictures that they put up were like, it's not chunks, but you're definitely pulling the coating or the top layer of plastic off your Switch. So
it's not a good time.
You can't eat the cartridges.
You can't put stickers on it.
You can't put stickers on it.
The controller, I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you've tried holding one yet, but the controller that you put the 2 Joy-Cons into.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's the Pro controller that's like the slightly bigger one that I've not actually tried.
The dedicated one, isn't it?
But there's one that you can put the 2 Joy-Cons into and then hold it, and it's meant to be a bit more like a standard controller.
Yeah.
It's not amazingly comfortable.
it looks a bit like the original Xbox controller. It looks square and chunky.
It's square. It's chunky. It's.
I've got a picture of it up now, and it looks like, there's just buttons in the wrong place.
It's not horrendous, but it doesn't feel great.
It's not a kind of you can sit down for 2 hours.
No,
it goes to ergonomics. When it comes to things like how many times did the Xbox controller get revisited?
See, the problem is it's square. In my opinion, the problem is it's square, and that's not a comfortable position to hold your hands. You kind of want it a bit flared outwards.
So you kind of want to buy the Pro controller.
So you kind of want the Pro controller.
Yeah. So marketing.
I mean, yeah, obviously there's possibly that involved.
Yeah. I mean, how hard is it going to be for companies like Mad Catz and that to get to wade in on the?
Well, I mean, surely all you do is you just need to build a case to put the Joy-Cons in.
Mm-hmm. But it can't be that hard to do because they've already turned around and said that you can use Joy-Cons on PC. People have already turned around.
That would be a possibility.
You can. People have already confirmed that Joy-Cons work on PC as controllers. So I would imagine that whatever software and hardware they are using is not that proprietary, and expect your favorite brand of knockoff controller to be spitting out as many different versions as you like.
Well, I mean, the thing is, all you just do is slide the Joy-Cons into it. You don't even need to worry about.
Does it not like have a connection, like a?
No, this doesn't. The Joy-Con does everything.
Oh, so I thought like maybe when
this is literally just a piece of plastic in a configuration.
Okay.
I mean, the other thing you can do with it is obviously one of the big things they advertise is the two Joy-Cons can work independently of each other. So if, say, I bring my Switch round to your place, I can play with one Joy-Con, you can play with another Joy-Con.
Yeah.
And we can both play the same game together.
Yeah.
It literally has an attachment that you slide onto the top of the Joy-Con that makes the left and right bumper buttons.
It's just oozing innovation. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
there's a lot there that's interesting.
The Switch was supposed to be just a blow-away innovative product.
I mean, the big downside I can see with it at the moment, the biggest downside my personal experience with the Switch has shown me, in that I looked at the Switch for about 5 minutes before work this morning. The kickstand on the Switch,
which is apparently surprisingly stiff,
is surprisingly flimsy for apparently something that's surprisingly stiff.
Oh, wow.
It is on the left of the console.
Yeah.
Very far to the left of the console. So it
saw that.
It does a perfectly fine job of supporting it.
Your Surface, for example, has a full-length kickstand because you don't want this thing to fall flat on its back. And
so I flipped out the kickstand of Harry's Switch and then pressed down on the power button because it had gone to sleep while I wasn't looking at it.
Did it fall over?
The power button's on the right side of the controller, of the console, and the kickstand's very far to the left, so it just went over backwards. It's very poor placement.
Cue Harry looking at you going, "What have you done to my Switch?"
Cue me grabbing it before it fell over, but you might want to have a look at the... I just shared a link in the Castle Discord.
Yeah.
You might want to have a quick look at that one. Kotaku did a taste test.
Yeah. Oh, was it Kotaku? I thought it was Rock, Paper, Shotgun. Apologies.
They are probably not the first ones. I think it was probably Rock, Paper, Shotgun who started it.
Oh, they're comparing it to
it's
different
Kotaku
ones.
Who finished it, shall we say.
Yeah. The argument is... See, this is what I don't get. I go scroll down this and they go, they've put this coating on. And let's not forget, this cartridge is also proprietary. It looks like an SD card. It's not. It's a Nintendo proprietary cartridge. And that is one of the steps they've taken to stop piracy. The other one is also that your games that you buy are registered to the console, not to your account.
Yep.
You know.
Good luck if you lose the thing.
If you and don't this thing, from what people have been saying, is it's not bomb proof. You know, people have already broken these things.
Well, it's not surprising. It's a mobile console. You're going to be taking it out and about.
That's not, yeah, but let's also not forget that the actual controllers, the place where your hands are holding this thing, are not bonded to the actual console. They
Very
are
true.
Slid in, and they're held in with retaining clip. Well, it's mechanical retention. And you know, the whole idea is that you can slide the controllers on and off, which means that if you suddenly jerk and your 6-inch display flies upwards, and you are suddenly just stood there holding these controllers in your hand as your actual Switch, your parts, you know, there's potential for that to happen. And you know, if your games are locked to your console, and you break your console, you have to then contact Nintendo to say you have to deauthorize my console and then go out and buy another one, or get a replacement service. I mean, the iFixit teardown that I've said, I read, they said that the battery is surprisingly replaceable, and Nintendo understand that this is not just a Game Boy. This is not a Game Boy or anything, or a tablet. This is a console, an actual next gen console, and the power requirements on the battery are as such as that it will need replacing after a certain amount of time, and they're going to offer some kind of like phone it home service, or take it or mail it off to replace the battery.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of months when the power users who are giving this thing an absolute caning with regards to the batteries, but also to see what happens. I think you know, when the Wii come out, all of a sudden we had to, you know, wear straps on our wrists to let us play the Wii. How long is it going to be before like some kind of tethering system comes out to stop the actual console separating? I mean, if you rage hard enough and you like, I don't know, when I'm playing on a controller and I'm not doing pretty well, I flex you know, I'm gripping the controller hard. I'm getting ragey. I'm getting angry. If you're doing that with a Switch and you're out and about and you rage so hard that you snap the mechanisms that hold the and I maybe it's just me, I'm just one guy, but there are people out there who rage. And can you imagine just being out there and raging on the tube,
and then the Switch goes so flying hard across the tube tray?
Yeah, and you're just stuck there holding these two controllers as it's smashed on the floor, or you know.
Well, someone has done a video where they attempt to see how many 5-foot drops onto concrete the Switch can survive.
Where are we at?
It took 9 minutes, and it survived 11 drops from that height onto concrete.
5 foot. So yeah, standing height.
So about standing height 11 times. That's not bad.
It's all right. I noticed there's a lot of as
I say, I don't know what he means by survive.
I would imagine power on and function normally.
But I mean, does survive also include the screen still intact? Is the screen shattered but it's still working behind that?
Well, the digitizer and the screen, unlike say an iPhone or a modern tablet, the digitizer, which is the bit that registers the touches, and the actual screen are separate components still. So if you break the screen or you break the digitizer, it's easier to get a replacement.
Right.
But it's still, I don't know, that's a lot of money to drop on the floor.
Yeah, obviously one of the big things is don't drop your bloody Switch on the bloody floor.
Yeah.
That seems obvious, but
But like I say, this is, and they've done it. They did it with the Wii. They did it with the Wii U. And
I mean,
the
one of the big
Switch,
things they did with the Wii as well. I don't know if you ever saw this, but when the Wii first came out, it just mentioned looking left and right.
Mm-hmm.
It had the big guy with the circle around him saying, "Look to your left, look to your right, and make sure that you've got plenty of arm room around you on either side."
Yeah.
They then very quickly updated that to also say, "and above you."
Yeah. Well, I remember. Yeah, it's the guy that's swinging his arms around and make sure the surroundings are
yeah. They
clear.
updated that graphic after launch to include the above.
Mm-hmm.
And I know of stories from other internet celebrity type peoples where one of their number put his hand through a lampshade above himself.
There was a whole website. I don't know if it's still up, but it's a website dedicated to people who have put their Wiimotes through like 50-inch televisions.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, this guy who worked in web design, which you and I both know is a very hand-heavy thing where you're typing a lot of the time, he put his hand through a glass lamp, sliced his fingers to buggery. He also then got in touch with Nintendo and said, "Hey, I was dumb. I'm not suing you over this, but you might want to make sure that people look above them." And then they updated the graphic, and he's not saying that he was responsible for that, but he was involved, probably.
In other news, John.
Other news.
I mean, yeah, it's a Switch launch thing. Of course,
there's a lot of Switch news.
Yeah, and we've put it all into one place so you didn't have to trawl the web.
We've trawled the web for you.
In other gaming news, John,
I have some of that. Destiny.
yes.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Destiny. Jeff's a fan of Destiny. I think we're going to get some new Destiny Let's Play episodes coming very soon because Jeff has some footage of it.
I can't play Destiny because I don't have an Xbox, and part of me doesn't want to play Destiny purely because Borderlands, I think. Yeah, go on.
They've just announced that Destiny 2 is coming, which we kind of all knew.
Mm-hmm.
But they have confirmed that gear and weapons from the first game will not carry across. Your appearance will.
If World of Warcraft can do it across so many expansions.
This led to the decision that would enable us to serve both the game and the player's best interest. Destiny 1 power, possessions, and Eververse-related items and currency will not carry forward. They will, however, remain accessible to you in Destiny 1. So your character will look the same.
So the characters are cross-game, but the inventory is not.
Yes.
That's bull-batooey.
It is a little.
I can imagine that's not gone down well amongst the internet.
Hardcore people are a little upset about this. Yes.
There's probably a little bit of sodium floating around right about now, isn't there?
Large mountains of it, yes. They've basically said that the character will stay with you for the entire decade of their 10-year plan.
How many years into this 10-year plan are they into?
3. We're meant to be 2. So the original plan, the 10-year plan that they had, that was all planny and lasted for 10 years, was you'd do 1 year, you'd get the game. You'd get Destiny 1. Yeah. The next year, there would be a big bit of expansion.
Content patch, yeah.
Massive content patch. Then you'd get Destiny 2.
Right.
They messed that up because Destiny 1 got a lot of flack for not having story.
Yeah.
So they did the content patch. Everybody loved it because there was storyline in it. And then they did another big content patch of about the same size. And everybody loved it because there was story in it.
Yeah.
Which kind of threw out their 10-year plan of game story, game story patch, game story patch. I think it lasts for 4 or 5 games. in the whole. I can't remember their 10-year plan. It came out about 3 years ago now.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, as a Destiny player that you are,
I am.
Upon hearing the news that all of your beloved items will not transfer to the next game, kind of how salty are you?
Personally, I'm not as invested as some other players are.
Right.
I like my character, and I'm glad that his appearance will carry forth. I've not been able to organise. I've never been organised enough to get a raid group together and go in on the raiding and do that side of things.
So you've never got to like the end.
So I've never really done. I've got to the end game, but not been able to do the end game content.
Theory crafted your way to like the ultimate DPS.
So,
I mean, I go back to my World of Warcraft reference there, because like how many expansions in? We're on version 11 or something stupid like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And everything is carried across. It's an MMO. That's what happens. I know that Destiny 2 is a new game.
Yep.
But it's an MMO, right? This is just the next.
They have always said it's not an MMO. This is a big thing for.
It's massively multiplayer and online. That's what an MMO is.
Yep.
You are in a lobby with other players from around the world. That's what an MMO is.
I know, big thing for that.
It's not an MMO.
I think that their biggest argument for it not being an MMO is that the most players you ever play with is 6.
Yeah, so when I play World of Warcraft, the most players I play with is myself, but I'm surrounded by other players.
Yeah, no, it's a very weak argument.
When I jump into an instance, I'm with 5 other players. Oh god, I'm gonna get shot now. But and when I jump into a raid, it's 10, 20, 30 man. But when I'm not playing that aspect of the game, I'm still in a world surrounded by other people. It's a massively multiplayer online game, and this is a sequel. And you could, again, with the because World of Warcraft is kind of like the original definitive MMO.
It's the one that everybody knows.
Yeah, you got your ones before that. You got your Baldur's Gates and your Ultimas and all of that. But even then, they got patches and they got kind of sequels, but everything still kind of carried across, and there was still semblance of you being able to at least make use of the items that you had beforehand, whether you traded it in for points or currency, or they just came with you. I'm guessing they're thinking now that a huge balance or rebalance is required.
I think that's part of the big problem, is that obviously the power creep issue.
Mm-hmm.
You put, we can't have the content of, say, I think at the moment the game goes up to level 40. You can't have Destiny 2 start at level 40.
Why?
Well, I mean, you could have Destiny 2 start at level 40.
Wrath of the Lich King did.
But they're going to want new players to get Destiny 2. Why? I don't know. But they will.
It's the trade-off between money and users and everything.
So, in terms of what they've said,
when Blizz launched Legion, there was a race to the character cap, but there was still plenty of content there, and there's still I just can't get the argument that it's not an MMO when it's clearly
it's an MMO.
Yeah, sorry, Destiny, you done effed it up.
We know that just like us, you've grown fond of the Guardians you've created, so we do plan to preserve your character personalization, said Bungie. We are going to recognise the dedication and passion you've shown for this world, specifically the class, race, gender, face, hair. I suppose in the case of my character, antenna, I'm a robot. And marking selections
specifically just the do you not get to keep your cosmetic items?
There aren't really that much in the way of cosmetic items. Everything is armor.
Sorry, I'd just call a whole heap of bovine on that. I just think that's a bad play.
And marking selections for all characters that have achieved level 20 and completed the Black Garden story missions will carry forward.
That's nothing. That's a spit in the face.
We also plan to award those veteran accounts with honours that reflect your Destiny 1 accomplishments.
Oh, wow. So more cosmetic items.
I think that's a good start. It's not a good enough.
It's not...
It's a recognition that you played Destiny 1.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure as Destiny players, everyone's gonna buy into that. If they enjoyed Destiny, then they're gonna buy into Destiny 2.
I think the big thing is
completely behind that.
Yeah.
And obviously you are, and like you say, you're not that much of a Destiny. You know, you're not the hardcore theory craftist that's gonna.
I'm intrigued to see what they're going to do with it. I'm intrigued enough to see what they're going to do with Destiny 2.
But even with, like, you go back to the Mass Effects of the world, you know,
your
character ports across, but then your experiences from the other games carried across, you know. So the choices you made reflect your game, you know, that you get added value by buying the sequel, because you know that everything you've done previously is going to affect your game in the future. With this, it's just like, well, we just pulled your cloud save in, and here's your character. Good luck with that. Let me know how it turns out. It just doesn't seem like there's that much added value for the person that has invested. What's going to stop the person who has invested hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours in this game? What's going to stop them from just saying, I'm just going to play Destiny?
I'm going to keep playing Destiny. Nothing, apparently, because they're still letting you keep all that stuff in Destiny. Because, I mean, what can they really... I mean, they can shut Destiny down and make you go to Destiny 2, but that seems childish and petty.
That would be just, if they did that, that's a cash grab.
Yes.
You know, that is, yeah, no, you can't play Destiny 1 anymore. You have to buy Destiny 2.
I mean, my problem with the things they've listed there as the accomplishments is that baseline Destiny.
Yeah.
That I could do year 1. Of Destiny. I could get to level 20. I could complete the Black Garden.
I'm pretty sure I could
That's
rush
not
out.
Any of the expansions.
I could rush out right now, buy an Xbox, buy Destiny, and get to level 20 in not a heck of a lot of time.
Easily.
Yeah. You
know. But the thing is,
so
they did
my
2 expansions. They did 2 full expansions that increased the level cap up to 40, that allowed you to go and complete 2 other epically massive missions, epically massive things that affected the world of the game that apparently aren't going to be honoured in Destiny 2 from what they're saying here.
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to be great because my character's reached level 20, my character has completed the Black Garden, but my character's also done a lot of other things. I've taken on the Taken King. I've fought the Wolf Pack.
Where's my recognition?
Where's my recognition for that?
Yeah.
Even if it is just, you know, the head of the Taken King and, you know, a holographic head of the Taken King and a wolf pack
or extra currency or anything that can make the person go, great, I've invested all this time and or money into this endeavor. So when I buy the new game, which is, let's face it, it's going to be 60 quid.
Yeah.
Plus collector's editions and all of that stuff. Where's my return on investment of that? Where I want to walk into this world brand new with other players looking at me going, hot damn, he did everything in the other game.
He done good.
Yeah. I want my title. I want my shining gold armor with
the big thing with that is if they did something that said, we're going to recognize that you ran the Vault of Glass, we're going to recognize that you took on the King's Fall mission. We're going to recognise that you did the other raid I can't remember the name of off the top of my head. But you took down Oryx. I would be rushing out now and saying, guys, let's do this. Let's get this together.
Make my money. Yeah.
You know, I've got the game. I'm going to be putting the effort into it. I'm going to be playing it. And I'm going to be getting other people to play it. And we're going to be experiencing the storyline. But I've done all the stuff that they're recognising, apparently. So
yeah. So what's the point?
Yeah.
Other news.
Other news. This is a quick one because I can't find a lot on it at the moment, but I wanted to touch on this. Jeff recently did a Gamer's Quest on game endings and talking about the ends of games and the ones that were great and epic and the ones that were disappointing and a slight letdown.
Mm-hmm.
And before he wrote it, or while he was writing it, he asked myself for my own opinions, because I have those.
Yeah.
And my two games that were a letdown were a letdown for the very same reasons. And this will possibly strike a chord with a number of people out there. Halo 2 was a great game. Very disappointed with the end. Shadow of Mordor was a great game. Very disappointed with the ending.
I hadn't finished Shadow of Mordor, so now I have no reason to.
Vague spoilers. Incredibly big spoilers for the ending of the game. It was disappointing. The game itself was amazing.
Yeah.
The game is incredible. The Nemesis system is incredible. Halo, shooty, shooty, bang, bang, awesome, yay.
Yeah.
Both of the games ended in exactly the same way. Master Chief or
spoilers.
Talion.
Spoilers, guys. Spoilers. You might mute it now. Mute it.
You're too late.
Okay.
Master Chief or Talion, depending on which game you're talking about.
Yeah, pick your protagonist of choice.
Pick your protagonist of game. Has massive epic encounter with big bad character. Technically, in Halo 2, he doesn't even have the encounter. It's the Arbiter who has this big bad encounter with the big bad guy that's been chasing him through the start of the game.
Yeah. And
defeats him. And Master Chief buggers off in a space rocket and gets a phone call and says, I'm coming back to Earth. The other guy says, what are you going to do? Pulls up gun. I'm going to finish the fight. Roll the credits.
You didn't finish the fucking first fight, so pardon my French, but you didn't finish the first fight, so what's the point?
Shadow of Mordor, but the big thing with that is obviously there was obviously going to be a Halo 3.
Yeah,
it was obvious.
Setting it up for the sequel is a good idea.
Shadow of Mordor does a very similar thing. You get to this big epic fight. You have this big epic fight with the big epic bad guy that you've been hunting since the start of the game. You kill him because you're the hero and he's the villain and good always wins. Mostly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And your two characters, Karen Brimbor and Talion, prepare to go to their well-deserved afterlife when they realise there's a bigger bad than the big bad they just killed. There's that big horned, helmeted guy called Sauron kicking around.
Casually.
So both of them agree that they can't actually go to the afterlife until Sauron is defeated. So they're going to go and finish the fight.
But they didn't finish the fight.
Roll credits.
If I recall correctly, a little hobbit called, Frodo Baggins finished the fight. So they didn't.
So roll credits. End of game.
Right.
You're left going, well,
two terrible endings. Yeah.
I'm astoundingly disappointed. They've just announced Shadow of War, Middle-earth Shadow of War, which is going to be the game that picks up after the fight.
It doesn't matter.
It's going to carry on.
We know what happens past that.
Yeah, this is a problem with it.
How can you do a game and you can't have a satisfying ending to that, because Shadow of whatever,
Shadow of War,
the Lord of the Rings Shadow of War, that when you finish that game, there's still 3 movies that happen.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
Well, you get to fight the Nazgul,
who
we know also survive because they're in the films.
Yeah.
Basically, what we've seen of the game so far is that Karen Brimbor and Talion have decided we're going to fight fire with fire, because firefighting with fire is an amazing idea.
In Middle-earth. Yeah, because in Middle-earth you're going up against a realm of practically fire.
So Celebrimbor, who forged the One Ring, again, spoilers, decides, well, what can defeat the One Ring? Another one. So he forges a new ring.
Is that canon? That's not very canon.
Canon is somewhere in this game.
Again, we can also figure out what happens with that, how well that turns out by referring to the first movie.
Do we ever notice the second ring of power?
No.
Yeah.
Gandalf says there are many rings of power in this world.
Yep.
But
doesn't mention
a ring on comparable power as to the One Ring. Hence why it's called the One Ring.
Yeah.
It's not called that ring with another kind of like it.
There's another one out there somewhere, but we're not going to talk about it very much.
Oh, God.
The Nemesis system is back.
Yeah.
So that's cool, because the Nemesis system was awesome, and we need that in more games. Please. It's going to be a richer and more personal world full of new enemy types, stronger personalities, and deeper stories. Anyone you face can evolve from a lowly soldier to a mighty overlord, personal nemesis, or ally. Which was awesome in the first game.
I agree.
Yeah. I want this in more games.
Yeah, but it doesn't. You want this in more games. You just don't need this particular game because, again, we know how it's going to end.
Yeah.
You know, you can't spoil the ending to a game when the three movies are. It's kind of like the Star Wars shenanigans, isn't it? Really,
it's the Force Awakens problem, not the Force Awakens. That was a film. It's kind of the Force Unleashed issue.
Yeah,
we know that Darth Vader should make it through this film.
Yeah,
you know, he ain't gonna be dying in the game.
Yeah.
Spoilers, one of the best bits of the game is where he dies and you take over as Vader and go and kick the ass of everybody from the film. That was some awesome DLC. I don't see that split universe thing happening here.
No, you can't. I mean, for the amount of legal loopholes you'd have to jump through.
I mean, the awesome things that we see in the trailer, Sauron's got a Balrog now.
Oh, good for him. We don't see the Balrog in the movie.
I'm guessing possibly because we fight it and kill it. So we've got that going for us.
There is a Balrog in the movie, but not that Balrog, I would assume, because you fight it and kill it like you've just spoiled.
Well, I'm assuming we fight it and kill it. It's in armor. So
you heard it here first on Final Boss Fight.
I'm guessing from the fact that I'm looking at the collector's edition, the Mithril exclusive edition.
Does that come with the game?
It does.
Oh, good.
As far as I can see, it comes with the game.
That's going to be my go-to question with any kind of collector's edition.
It's currently sold out on the PlayStation 4, but I could order it on the Xbox One at the moment on Amazon. It's only a mere £200.
£200 for a collector's edition game?
Actually, no. It's $199.99, and because of Amazon, I get £2 off that.
Hang on, let me just... Liz, can I buy a £200 collector's edition Lord of the Rings game?
No.
Well,
hear that?
Science again.
Science. That's consumer advice at work.
So, because you don't yet know what it comes with a limited edition 12-inch Tar Goroth Balrog versus Karnan Drake statue.
Okay, can I just stop you there? What is the obsession with collector's editions featuring
statues? I don't know.
It seems to me like that is
more shelf space.
Yeah. No, do they do game developers have like some kind of contract deal with IKEA? because that seems like the kind of thing is like, oh, if we ship it with a 12-inch statue, they're going to have to buy more floating shelves. You know, I'm so glad that I don't subscribe to the idea of the collector's edition, because I'm pretty sure if I have to spend £200 on the collector's edition and then £40 on another floating shelf, I'm pretty sure my partner would kill me. Yeah, she would. Confirmed.
Confirmed. The gold edition game with exclusive steel case, premium case with magnetic ring of power. It's magnetic for reasons. I don't know what those reasons are.
Because magnets equals power, obviously.
I mean, it is a type of power. Exclusive mithril war chest. Soundtrack. Map of Mordor on a cloth. Collection of exclusive lithographs and tribes starter pack. Don't know what that is. And the gold edition of the game comes with a golden war chest, 2 Nemesis expansions, the Slaughter Tribe of Nemesis and the Outlaw Tribe Nemesis, and 2 storyline expansions, the Blade of Galadriel and the Desolation of Mordor.
That's nice.
So yeah,
I mean, you're talking to the anti-collector's edition guy here, you know.
I'll also point out that apparently on the frequently bought together items on Amazon, just because I'm on Amazon at the moment,
right?
I think the algorithm is slightly broken here, in that it's suggesting that I buy the big box of Shadow of War and the Mass Effect Special Edition box.
Yeah, because that would be you would not
specifically the box.
How? Oh, so just the box.
It literally just they sell the still book separately without the game.
All of that together. How many hours of gameplay is that? I mean, how could you not?
I mean, I sunk so many hours into
hours of gameplay. 100 hours, right there.
I sunk so many hours into Shadow of Mordor, not even realizing there was a second area to it.
Says the guy who's very quickly racked up like 3,000 hours in Terraria. So just do the math on that. Wow.
I've already bought that game.
Did I give it to you?
No, sorry, Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Not you. It's now I've gone to look at the standard edition of the game, and it's now suggesting I buy it with Ghost Recon Wildlands, which comes out tomorrow, and I'm very excited for, and it arrives at my house tomorrow. So expect Let's Plays.
Yeah, you better do some Let's Plays.
Jeff and I are planning it.
That's a very good point to wrap up.
Yep.
This little segment, guys. Thank you very much for listening. We really do appreciate it.
We really do.
Leave us some feedback. I'm pretty sure there'll be some links somewhere.
Comments down below.
I'll probably get an email saying, "Hey man, can you make comments appear on the website somewhere?"
Do they not appear down below yet?
What, on the website?
On the website, did we not do that?
No. It just hang on, wait. This is where we get a bit meta. Hey John, is this going out to YouTube?
Yes. There are comments on the website.
You did comments. Wait, you're saying wait? No,
there
the
are comments on the website.
The comments will be on the website. The comments will be Facebook based.
Yeah.
On YouTube's, if you click the video,
they'll be YouTube based.
And if you're on the YouTube, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure to tick that little bell thing that happens, because apparently that's a thing that happens with YouTube now.
Tick the bell thingy for bell.
If via somehow you are listening to this via some other means, then be sure to like and comment on whatever that is. But hopefully we're going to do a couple of these a week. I think we can bash these out.
We'll see what we can do in terms of.
We're going to keep it new and relevant and fresh.
Yeah, that's the plan.
But on behalf of myself and indeed Mr. John Go to Bed himself.
Hello.
Thanks very much for listening, watching, and hopefully we'll see you guys next time.
And ta-ra! Rio will be played sometime.
Nice.
Smooth. Bye, guys.